Okay.
And we are live with Spot Dodge, a live Nintendo podcast. My name is Mary Stowe, and I am your host today, even though Brett Medlock is here as well, but he may have to peek in and out occasionally. So tonight's hosting duties fall to me, and as always, I am joined by this lovely group of gentlemen, Brett Medlock, Greg Vargas, John Frisha, Brett Larson, and Eric the Wizard, doing all the fancy tech stuff behind the scenes.
Yay!
That's what a great intro. Quick intro, I like it.
That's
glorious.
like
You guys have called me
rapid-fired it.
Brett
I was like-
Larson. I've never been called Brett Larson on this show before.
I know.
So that was interesting.
Why not?
That's the
Yeah,
first.
you're supposed to call him the King Daddy Dilf.
Oh,
No, I'm
My
glad
bad,
it was good.
redo.
I like it. No, it was
Dilf
great.
Larson.
It's great.
Dilf Larson.
So for today's opening topics, we're going to talk about our top 3 best games that we played in 2022. And because I am making the rules tonight, those games do not have had to have come out in 2022. They can
That
be
changes everything.
released.
I don't like this
know.
game.
Just as long as you played it in 2022. And then we're also going to talk about our top 3 most anticipated games. So to go first, I'm going to choose Brett Medlock because you always choose me to go first. So what is one of your top 3 best games of 2022?
How are you going to change the rules and then expect me to immediately be ready to choose out of any game I played this year?
Because I know you have a list somewhere, probably.
I do. A huge list.
You throw curveballs at us all the time, Brett. Now deal with it.
Yeah, and no one does my fun games, remember?
Brett Medlock, imagine that you're on the side of a volcano, peeking down. You're not wearing any underwear.
Your wife is
Tell
in
us
labor.
all about The Last of Us
Your
Part
wife
1.
is in labor with twins.
Well, the best game I played this year was without a doubt Resident Evil 4 because that's the best game ever made. But I'm going to go with a 2023 game just because, I mean, the rules, I don't know. Mary, you can't just change the rules. But okay, that's fine. I'm going to shout out the Callisto Protocol. It's probably in my top 3, somewhere like hovering around my 3 or 4. And I just thought the game, I'm kind of sad that it came out and it didn't like hit. Like critics didn't really like it that much. It seems like the sales have been kind of soft. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a massive failure for the PUBG Corporation who funded the game. So I'm kind of sad because I liked the story, I liked the setting, I liked everything about this game. It was like I've said in the past, the movement was very limiting and slow, but I felt like the game didn't feel broken because of that. It felt like that was it was how it was meant to feel. Just like how Resident Evil 4 was meant to be tanky, and it worked with that like to its advantage. With this game, I felt like was the same thing. You're slow, but the enemies are also slow, and you got these combos you can do with melee and your gun. And I thought by the end of it, the combat was just really fun, and I thought it wasn't appreciated enough. I'm kind of sad about that.
Yeah, it was one of those
Thank
games
you.
that was definitely like really hot and cold. Like there's people like you who loved it, and there's people like some of my friends who were expecting more Dead Spacey vibes, and it just didn't quite live up to like that mindset going into it. I think that's what caught a lot of people off guard, was like the differences between Callisto Protocol and Dead Space.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I feel like
don't
if they
understand this game. I'm totally in Brett's court, like on his side of the court on this game. Like it was one of the like from beginning to end, like completely. It was the most complete game I played of the year in terms of like there was never a moment where it was like downtime where I was just kind of bored. Like the entire game that like kept you on like the edge of your seat, the seat of your edge, if you will.
yes,
Brett.
thank you.
Yes.
No, I loved it, man. It was so good, and it frustrates me, and it all goes back to like everyone has their own opinions. I get that, but I don't understand how this game got 5s and 4s. I don't. So I agree with you on this one.
All right, next up, John. What is your first pick for your top 3 best games?
Oh man. Anywhere in the whole year.
His head's spinning now.
E-game.
Okay. Well, at first I had one game and then I swapped it out for another one because I was going to game the system since it did get a PC release this year. But now since it's just any game we played in 2022, I guess it doesn't matter. So I'm starting things off with a game that I finished last night, which is Lost Judgment. Lost
Ooh.
Judgment was like so much better than I was expecting it to be. Like, I mean, obviously we've established at this point that I love the whole Yakuza franchise, and Judgment's a spin-off of that. I liked the first Judgment. I didn't necessarily love it because I thought the story was like kind of ridiculous in some ways, even by the standards of the series. But Lost Judgment, it has like one of the best stories in the franchise. Like allowing for the inherent absurdity of the whole series, like within that framework, it's relatively grounded as a story. Like it's like kind of plausible, like at least 5% plausible, which for the franchise is like really plausible.
That's
Like,
really high.
like it's
Yeah.
practically it practically happened in real life. That's how plausible it is. So like me personally, I didn't love the combat, but it's really just because I was never committed to actually like learning the intricacies. Like immediately after I finished the game, I started watching a speed run, and the guy was instantly doing all these crazy throws and like killing people in 2 hits, and it was like all this stuff that I didn't even know existed after playing for like 48 hours or something. So, there's
Jeez.
that. But
Wow.
the story, like I don't want to give anything away just in case people actually play it, and I encourage everybody to, but like it actually starts out just being about school bullying, and you're a detective, so like how do you like make a whole video game out of school bullying if you're like a detective who's usually dealing with like Yakuza stuff? But it just keeps like spider webbing out from there, like bit by bit it keeps expanding. You realize there's a bigger story here, and it's like it actually all connects. Everything is actually foreshadowed very nicely. Like it's a well written story. In terms of like just the raw writing, it might be the best in the franchise. I'm not even necessarily saying it's the best story. I'm not sure if I want to go that far, but like it is probably the best written story. So like I was really thrilled to play a game that I can say like without any caveats has a great story. Like it's usually like, well, it was a good story for this sort of thing. With Lost Judgment, it's the rare case where I can just say it was a great story, like end of story. So that was Lost Judgment was like a really big one for me this year. And there's a DLC expansion called the Kaito Files that I have to play, and I'll probably play that this weekend. But then that'll mark the end of my Yakuza journey after a little over a year. Very exciting.
And then it all starts
Damn.
like what isn't there one coming up in like the next like 4 months, right? Another Yakuza game. It's the
Yeah, I
the
forget. It's
Ish,
like February or March, I think.
Ishin,
Yeah.
or something
Ishin,
like that?
yeah.
is it Ish?
Yeah.
What is it called again? I can't remember the name. Ishin.
I think it's called Like a Dragon Ishin.
Ishin. That's
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, that
Yeah.
looks cool.
And like everybody's like a samurai. And like it's like
Yeah.
kind of based in actual Japanese history,
Yeah,
but they just took all of their actors who played famous quote unquote characters from the Yakuza franchise, and they just put them all in here. So it's like an
That's really
all-star
funny.
game.
they
I'm
they
just-
play by their own
Yeah,
rules.
it's-
Let's be
5%
honest.
plausible.
Love it. Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be at least 4% plausible.
I feel bad for skipping so many Yakuza games, even though like I played almost all of Like a Dragon Wish. I still need to finish, but
Cool.
I'm definitely gonna play. I started Judgment as well, and definitely gonna
Mm.
eventually finish that and play Lost Judgment too.
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah. Lost Judgment was it was really good. Really good.
That's
I'd
cool.
place it number 3 in my rankings. My
was just
top
gonna
2
ask you
haven't
where it
really
would go.
changed. Yeah. It's still Like a
Damn.
Dragon and then Yakuza 0, but now it's like I very confidently Lost Judgment in the number 3 slot. And
That's cool.
really, I think the only things keeping Yakuza 0 above it are that I liked Yakuza 0's combat more, and like Yakuza 0 I think was kind of like more ridiculous with some of its like sub stories and stuff. And
Mhm.
I just enjoy that stupidity. Like
It's nice. I appreciate that a lot
yeah.
in that game.
yeah. But Lost Judgment actually has a lot of really zany school-based sub-stories too, and I actually enjoyed that quite a bit. You end up like joining a motorcycle gang for the school,
Nice.
as one does. So yeah. Good
Your
stuff.
Yakuza enthusiasm, I feel like made a believer, like a Yakuza believer out of every person on this podcast. Like
Yeah.
I promise you, I would have never played a Yakuza game until I started this podcast, and you talked about it week after week. I'm like, all right, I probably should try it because like he talks about it like religiously like it's like this great thing. And
Yeah.
no, you're right. It's good
You made
stuff.
definitely made it feel
Yeah.
like I was missing something like that I
Mhm.
genuinely would enjoy, and that's what pushed me to invest some
Yeah.
hours, which I do need to go back to.
Yeah.
That makes me feel really good because, like I said, like I discovered like a new favorite franchise last year. Like I was not expecting to like love it that much, but like it's up there
That's
for me
cool.
now. So yeah,
That's cool.
so,
All
lost
right.
judgment.
Next up, let's hear it from Brett Larson. First game.
Hey, well, see, I don't know what to do now because since you threw that wrench in everything, I played some amazing like older games last year, like Mario Sunshine, Breath of the Wild,
yeah.
Like a Dragon. So, but I'm not gonna be boring, and I feel like I talked about those plenty. I guess I've talked about this a lot too, but one of the games that I keep going back to, like that I just can't forget about from last year, from 2022, was Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Like that game was just so damn good, and like it made such an impression on me. And I was telling Brett this, like it's one of those games that I wish I could just wipe from my memory and start over and play again,
Mhm.
because like it was just so much joy the entire time I played it. Like from the level designs and like the way you can level up with different abilities and like the cute little outfits you get, and like how every level felt different based off of like what mouthful mode you needed to be in to complete that level. Like it just felt fresh. Every level felt different enough and felt fresh. So like at every turn, you never felt like you were just kind of doing the same thing and it got mundane. It was like you're always learning something new, or you're using an old ability in a new way. And man, it was just so freaking good. And up until October, it was my game of the year, and it didn't get edged out by much. And man, I know you guys all agree with me on that. That was just
Mhm.
such a fun game. I loved it. So that will
Totally.
definitely be like one of my better gaming memories in the last few years is Kirby.
Yeah, I remember I
Yeah.
wasn't gonna get it at launch, and then all of you were playing it, and y'all were just talking
Yeah.
about how like
It's
happy and
amazing.
like joy.
It's
So
glorious.
good. I was like, okay, fine, let me
Yeah.
go to GameStop and like grab a
Yeah.
copy. And then I started playing, and I was like, I get it. This is. I
Yeah.
was like, now I'm glad
Yeah.
I didn't wait much longer.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yep.
was so thankful that I ended up reviewing it just by chance. Because yeah, this was a game I was totally gonna skip, and then when I had to play it, I was like, "Oh, this is amazing! I would have been an
Yeah, it
idiot
is.
to miss this."
Yeah.
What's funny too, me
Yeah.
and Brett talked about this on we did an audio podcast last week when you guys were all out, and we did our top 10 from
Right.
2022. So hopefully this isn't like rehashing too much, but me and Brett were also talking about how like when the demo came out, I played it and I was like, it's good, but like I didn't think it was that good. Like it was just like, okay, it was whatever. It's good enough for me to play when it comes out. And it was just like I was totally taken by surprise at how good it ended up being.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
For sure.
All right, Greg, you're next. First game.
Well, I did pick Kirby as one of mine as well. But I
Almost
can
all of
roll with
us
something
did.
else. Yeah. I
Now I'm just gonna
Well, I
pick
will
something
say I-
random since Mary
Yeah,
changed the
right?
rules.
well, I will say this about Kirby. Like it came at the perfect time for me. Like I was, kind of struggling to get back into like playing games consistently at this point. And I think one of the biggest things that it did was just like, I mean, everybody has like their limit to their mental health or where they're at. And I feel like it just came at the right time to provide me with some cheer in gaming again. And not only did I was invested in its creativity, but every like you said, every level felt different. It felt like it was purposeful, and in how each mouthful mode was designed with the level in mind. Everything felt unique. I felt tons of variation, and it was just like overall it had that little bit of edge of challenge to it, with more challenge built inside of it, with leveling up each of your different abilities and stuff. And so I don't know, it was just like it just hit a nice sweet spot for me. And I think you'd be wrong in not playing Kirby if you haven't already, or if you have got any GameStop gift cards for Christmas, or any place that sells it, go buy it.
Mhm.
Dude, seriously, like
100%.
if there's anyone that was even remotely on the fence or even not on the fence and they're just like, I don't know, that's not really my kind of game. Believe me, this is just it's just too damn good. It's just
Yeah.
fun. Like the perfect word for
Yeah.
this game
Yeah.
is fun.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's
Even like the little
quintessential
stuff where
Nintendo magic.
Yep.
yeah, yeah, like
Just
even the
get
little
yourself a
stuff like sitting
mouthful and go
down,
check out Kirby.
just sitting next to like that one point where you sit next to like the ducks after you find them all, and then like
Mhm.
Kirby has like little emotes that you can do. It's like,
Mhm.
why is this in here? I fucking love this.
Just for fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yep, for
I
sure.
was gonna start with one of my top 2022 games, but because I broke the rules, now I feel like I should just go ahead and say the one that's the reason why I'm breaking the rules. Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn. I
Nice.
played it. Yep.
Which is the one Brett said you weren't allowed to do, right, Brett?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was kidding. I didn't.
Back and forth
I know you're
between Path
kidding.
of Radiance and Radiant Dawn. I ended up choosing Radiant Dawn because it's a sequel to Path of Radiance, but it kind of just took all of what made Path of Radiance like great and just like ran with it more. Like the story somehow like escalated. It got so like I was thinking about it even when I wasn't playing it. It was challenging. I think it holds up pretty good, even though it's a Wii game. I think it still holds up pretty well by like today's standards. And it's a game that was challenging enough that made me do math at the very end. So I was just like very, very invested. Between Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn, I think I have like 200 hours.
Was that the first time you played it?
Yeah, it was the
year,
very
or-
first time I
okay.
played it. And my friends begged me to restart because this was the one where they mistranslated the difficulty settings. So
What?
normal,
Oh wow.
yeah,
That's
easy.
You're
crazy.
playing on easy, you're like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah. Well, no, like easy is normal, normal is hard, hard is extreme. So I chose normal because that's what I usually do.
Oh.
So I chose hard mode. And my friends
Yeah.
were like, Mary,
Ah,
please restart.
wow.
I'm like, nope, too many chapters in. I can't do it. I was like, I'm committed.
Yeah.
So I beat it on hard mode.
Oh
Could
wow.
not-
Holy shit.
And you
it
played
was-
on original hardware, right?
Shit.
Yeah, I managed to grab a copy. And it's funny because I saw someone tweet out a photo of one today that was like $400, which is insane.
What the
Retro game
hell?
prices are so much. But I managed to find a copy for like $90 earlier this year.
Hmm.
And I was
Nice.
like,
Wow.
and I was vetting it. I was like, this looks legit. Like I was looking at like the pictures and when I got it, I was looking at it. I was like, I don't think this person realized how much this game is going for now. Like
Isn't that crazy? Like prices could just jump like 300% in a year. Just
Yeah.
well, and I think it's
Yeah.
also
The
because
GameCube's having a renaissance right now.
bruh,
yeah.
it hurts my soul. GameCube games are so expensive. All right, but now we are back at the beginning of the group. Brett, Medlock, number 2, go.
All right, so it's not my top 3 anymore of the year. I don't even think Callisto Protocol. Never mind, skip me.
Never mind.
And-
Okay,
Kids going crazy.
Okay. Well
John. That means it's your turn.
Okay. All right. Well.
You got to do the head spin again.
All these
Oh,
2022
man.
games.
So many games I gotta consider. Oh man. Whoa. Okay, I'm getting dizzy. Like really. All right. Okay, so I was gonna do Kirby next, but we've talked about Kirby several times over already because it rules. So I'll do a game that did not come out in 2022, but that I played a ton of, and I also mentioned a lot at random on this show. Langrisser 1 and 2, which was it was remakes of strategy RPGs from like Sega Genesis, and one of them came out here under a different name like a million years ago. But this is the two of them put back together, and you can kind of choose between like old and original graphics and old and original art and like the old and new music. So it was like a really, really nice selection of different options of like classic and new. And I just had a ton of fun playing these games. Like compared to most strategy RPGs, I actually think these are on the easy side, but not so easy that like you're bored. So it was just like this really terrific amount of like satisfaction of like, I have my strategy, I've picked out my dudes, I'm leveling them up, and like I feel confident that I can win this thing. And in the second one in particular, there's like a ton of branching paths, so you can replay this game over and over if you want. I didn't, just for time reasons, but like it was just like a ton of fun. Like it was like some of the most pure fun I'd had playing a game all year, much like with Kirby.
Yeah,
So like
you
if
didn't
you're
stop
looking for
talking
like an
about that game like for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if you're like in the market for like a strategy RPG, but like you don't want a hard one like a Fire Emblem or like something like that, like just give Langrisser a try. Like it goes on sale at least like a few times a year, I think, and that's how I played it. So like, yeah, I
Cool.
recommend Langrisser. It's really fun and really straightforward too. Like it's not super complex.
All right, I'm back.
Okay.
For now,
Me
yeah,
too.
it could happen again. And if you're just not joining us, my kid, I might disappear at any point. You never know. So a game I played last year that I didn't expect to love and end up just going down the rabbit hole with theories and watching a bunch of videos, and it's a series, and it's Portal 1 and 2. Amazing
Yeah.
games. Portal 2, I like, oh my god, it's so good.
Yeah.
And just amazing level design, amazing voice acting. How they got J.K. Simmons in there being amazing. And
being his regular J.K. Simmons self.
Exactly, like he is in everything.
Badass.
But it also made me really sad because I'm just like, what is Valve doing? Like Portal 2 is the last game that they made until freaking what's it called? The VR game. I forgot the name now. Half-Life Alyx.
Yeah.
Like the last normal game. They've put out some things that they helped publish and some smaller things. But this was the last normal game they made until Half-Life Alyx, and that's not even really a normal game because it's a VR game where you need like a very powerful PC to play it. So it's like get back to this, please. Like this was so special. Like, are those people still working at Valve? Because if they are, it's like they're being wasted. Just absolutely wasted. And like, what is Steam? I never even heard of it until last year. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my gosh.
Too busy rolling in money right now.
What? Yeah.
Exactly.
What is that thing they own? I don't know. They make money from it.
It's something about a PC sim, like a.
I still can't believe you played
for taxes.
You played two. You played two before you played one.
I did because I was like, you know what? I heard 2's the best one.
I did the same.
I heard 2 is the best one, so I was like, I didn't think I would like the gameplay though. That's why I was like, I'm playing it because it's known for being amazing.
I heard this game is amazing, but I'm gonna play the second one first.
No,
the second one specifically.
I'm gonna come to his defense on this one because
like
usually I give Brett
from
shit.
Valve.
Usually I would give Brett shit for that too. However, I had the exact same thought process going into it. Is I didn't think that it was going to be my kind of game, it's basically just essentially just a puzzle game. And I thought I was going to get to the point where I'm like, okay, this maybe just isn't for me. So I was like, I better play the better one of the two to even see if I like it. And then I was like, holy shit, this is amazing. It's crazy because me and you probably would have never played these games if they didn't. Oh, well, I can't say never, but we may have never played either of these games if they didn't have that release on Switch this year. And then
it just came up, and I was like,
it's
hey,
so good.
It's $20. Like that's cheap. So I was like, that's $10 a game. Let's go halvesies. And Switch is the only console version that runs at 60 frames per second. So there you go. The little Nintendo Switch.
I'm not gonna pass any judgment, but either way, whatever. Do you feel like you made a mistake playing the second one first, or do you feel comfortable with your decisions?
The first one is so light on story that it really wasn't that big of a deal at the end of the day. Like a guy escapes, a girl escapes a crazy robot. That's the story. And the second one does way more with like introducing the company's stuff and way more voice acting than the first game. And I also did watch a short like recap of the first game before I played the second one. So, yeah.
All right. Well,
Man, he really broke his own rules.
I'll say I'm really gonna
tell me that.
I'm gonna keep judging you. But for Larson, what's your second game?
You said my
Yeah.
turn, right?
Well, plus, I just want to add real quick, like the
Yeah.
first Portal is way shorter.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
way
I
shorter.
should have just finished it
Like
first. It's
you could
extremely
have beaten
short.
Portal like in like half the time.
I beat it in like 1.5 sittings.
There you go.
Yeah. I need to go back
If
and
that
beat
makes
that
any
too.
sense.
Yeah, I need to
You
go
didn't
back
play.
and beat
You
it
didn't
as
beat the
well.
first one.
I never did because right when I at the time I beat it, there was a big release that happened. I finished it just in time for that big release to come out and play that next, and then I just haven't gotten back. So I'm going to though. But all right, I think you said it was my turn next,
Yes.
and I was going to say God of War, but I think everyone's tired of hearing about God of War. And we all know that was my game of the year. So I'm going to bring up a little game that wasn't nearly talked about enough last year. And it was also a PlayStation exclusive.
Hmm.
Brett.
Ghostwire Tokyo
Ghostwire Tokyo, a PlayStation exclusive.
by Xbox Game Studios.
Yeah. I give him shit about that all the time. No, when
They
it
paid
came
for
out,
it, by
I
the
bought
way.
it.
Little
Yeah,
crying
when
Jim
he-
Ryan over there. We don't
Little
have
crying
anything.
Jim-
We don't. They're beating us.
Damn Game Pass. Wah.
Oh my god.
So when it came out, like I bought it because it was like kind of in one of those periods where there wasn't a lot of big releases, and Brett was like, "You seriously just spent $70 on a game that's going to be free in like a year?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, but I don't know. There's not a lot."
Well, it was
going on
it was a
now."
game that we were like very lukewarm on. That's why I was
Yeah,
like, "Are you
and
sure?"
exactly. And it wasn't like something that was super like I was like super excited about. But man, something about that game, like I keep thinking about it like months and months later. Like so many open world games have the problem where there's like too big of a map, too much going on, like too many, you open up the map and there's too many dots and like you feel overwhelmed. And this was like the perfect example of like it was open world, but it was done in such a like the exact opposite problem where it was like it just squeezed every bit of production it could out of like every area. Like you never felt like you had to travel to like some far part of the map that it was, and there's going to be all these waypoints from at point A to point B, and it was going to get overwhelming and this and that. Like it was just such a good tight experience, especially you wouldn't even really feel like an open world game. But it was really good, and no one really talked about that game at all. And I didn't really talk about it all that much, but it was on my top 10 of the year. And I would say, and this is the rare plug of mine for Game Pass. This is a rare plug of mine. But if you have
Xbox
Game Pass when
Pass.
this game comes out, play that game. It's
I'm gonna play it on
absolutely
Game Pass, the real version of the game. You played the beta version, but
Yeah,
no, they
it was
probably
good.
will end up doing. Sorry.
No,
Wait, I'm sorry,
it's okay. I was just going to say,
I
it's like,
totally missed it. What game are we talking about?
Ghostwire
Yeah,
Tokyo. It's on screen.
Ghostwire
Okay,
Tokyo.
that's what I thought. I wanted to make sure. Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like at first when I first started, I was like, it was like the thought of running around Tokyo at night with no people. Like I was like, that kind of, how could that be fun? But something about it was just, I don't know, like it just felt so cool being in that world and like seeing this whole massive city like completely abandoned, and like of course you're fighting enemies who are like spirits or whatever, but man, it's good. It was really good, and I would absolutely recommend that to anyone who's thinking about playing it.
Nice.
See, it's weird because it like kind of did the opposite for me. Like I was really excited about it at first, and was had
Because of the
such-
director, we got to meet her, and then she left or got fired or something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've even watched documentaries about her and like how her approach to horror and psychological horror, and like that's what like amped me up to play it. And because other games that she's worked on, but then she kind of left, and like I felt like some of that spirit left with it. But then again, for you to speak so highly of it, and if it does come to Game Pass, then yeah, totally.
Mhm.
Like especially if it comes to Game Pass Ultimate, I can put
Yeah.
put some hours in on PC and on Series S. So
Yeah.
Good old PlayStation exclusive.
For now. All right, Greg,
Yeah.
what is your second game?
I chose TMNT Shredder's Revenge. So like I feel like that's kind of lit a little fire under me to get back into like beat 'em ups and really get back to my roots. Especially I'm playing River City Girls 2 right now and really enjoying it. And so I think it all started though because I'd played River City Girls and I was thought it was a decent game. I felt like there was some areas they could fix in terms of combat, exploration, just the overall, after completing the game, just left me wanting a little bit more out of the experience. But I mean, I do have a bias for Ninja Turtle games. Going back to Ninja Turtles, the arcade game. Playing through those on NES, and then Turtles in Time. Playing Hyperstone Heist. Like that is such a callback to like my childhood, and like I still watch Ninja Turtles. The movies, even the recent ones, Out of the Shadows, and just like I don't know what it is about Ninja Turtles. It just seems like such an iconic period of time. When they had action figures, movies, games,
Mhm.
and even now, that they're still big fans of Ninja Turtle games. And so Shredder's Revenge was like just a kind of a love letter to all that nostalgia plus more. They incorporated online multiplayer, more unlockable characters. They had really unique level designs, boss battles. I wouldn't say it's my favorite Ninja Turtles game because Turtles in Time absolutely holds the crown for that one on Super Nintendo, but I do think it was a pretty solid contender in terms of being a really good beat 'em up game. Um, there were small tweaks here and there in terms of combat, but I did like its brevity and being able to really hunker down and just play through it, even if I was playing solo. I did play a lot of online matches just to see how confusing it would be to have like so many characters on screen, and I hated it. But I did like the solo experience. And when you're teaming up with it, 1 to 2 other people, not like what is it, like 5 or 6, and it's just absolute mayhem on screen. So
I think you can do 8.
Yeah, I
That's
was like, it was
wild.
quite a
can you?
bit.
Yeah,
Is
I remember
there?
I played the boss
I think
battle
Eric's
with
playing the
like
wrong game on screen.
6.
Yeah,
You
this
could
looks
still
like
play that one. It's still solid, and I played it in 2022 as well.
Nice. Dude, I just played all the way through TMNT in one sitting. During it was the last game I played of the year and I played it with CJ because I played it at launch. It was a Game Pass day oneer, so I was very excited and it looked beautiful with like the pixel art. And then I started and played through the first level and I'm like, something about this don't feel right. Like I feel like I have to play this with someone or else you're not really getting the real experience. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So I'm surprised to hear that you played it alone because then when I played it with CJ and we were both different turtles, we played on normal, so it was decently challenging. We were having
Oh, thanks
fun.
for the
It was
invite.
intense. We were healing each other. You wouldn't have, Cam. You wouldn't have.
Yes,
And
did we not play Call of Duty together?
yeah, we did that
Called
night after we
out.
beat it.
You son of a bitch.
I would be willing to play through another beat 'em up though. Like after we beat it, we were like googling like what's the best beat 'em ups to play through because like next time he's in town, we want to do one that's also like fun but like decently short so we can get it done in like one night without having to like figure out scheduling and stuff when he's at his house. And it's just way more fun when you play like in person like with a friend.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought it was really good. The presentation is like off the charts. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, I was like when I was a kid, like it was so weird because I'd always end up playing and like getting to a point. I'm like, no, I need to not lose a life in the first level. I need to make sure I make it all the way. So like, Sunset Riders, Maximum Carnage, um, Turtles in Time. They're all that same like style where I was like, got to beat all the bad guys in this level. And I don't know. It always just became a challenge to me, especially playing. Was it Streets of Rage 4? Was that the most recent one?
Yeah, that one looks really good. I want to play it.
I was going to say that
totally
one.
worth it. Beautiful game.
All right. So now I'll do a 2022 game. And it was actually my most anticipated game for 2022, Cult of the Lamb.
Oh, yeah.
I love this game. Like from the first moment that like I saw it, I was like, this looks like my kind of game. Like it's cute, it's a little roguelike, but it's also got like that darkness to it and like that little bit of creepy vibes and like that dark sense of humor. And it was just so fun. I play a lot of Hades, and I kind of say this like Hades light because I don't feel like it's quite as technical. But you also have like the little base building aspect with like your followers. But I think what really made this like such an enjoyable experience was the Twitch integration that they did with it. Was like, it's perfect, but it was also just really simple for like your viewers, your friends, your followers to like join your cult, and like they would get to actually customize their own little character. So like one of them would throw up and I could call them out by name. I'd be like, Elias, you just threw up. What are you doing? Like, I just fed you. Oh no, Tyler, you died. You're old now. Like get these notifications like this person has reached old age. This person has died. And I was just like, y'all.
I didn't know it went that deep.
Yeah. But then
That's crazy.
There's also like events where like your chat can like vote. And so like sometimes they would randomly bring a deceased follower back to life, or like if you're out in the middle of a run,
That's
they'll
really
just
cool.
drop bombs on you for no reason.
That is neat, yeah.
That's like the most stream friendly experience. It sounds like. That's cool.
Yeah, it was really fun. It added that little extra element to it, and I hope that more games will like figure out how to do like live stream integrations like that in the future, because it's all completely optional. You don't have to be using it while you live stream, but it's fun because it's almost like you're playing with friends in a way. You know,
the only downside is you have to have friends to do all that, and none of us do except you.
Yeah.
So
I would show up.
Invite you to play TMNT. Yeah,
exactly. Like I don't have anyone to invite me to play TMNT. Greg, let's play Streets of Rage. Come on.
The only time Brett ever invites me to play a game is like when I'm literally like the only time I'm ever indisposed. Brett's like, "Hey, jump on COD." I'm like, you could have asked me the last 92 hours, I would have said yes, but somehow right now I can't.
Dude, CJ was at my house for a week and you could never play once, so I don't want to hear it.
However, it was during Christmas though, and like we had stuff going on.
It's
with
like
my
Christmas
family
Day.
And stuff.
Hey, it's 10 o'clock in the morning. Christmas Day. You got anything going on right now?
Yeah,
like, hey, Brett, my kids are opening up presents from Santa. He's like, fuck Santa, jump on COD.
I'm pretty sure I did ask you Christmas, but it was at nighttime, so you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, we were at a party that night though. But
all right, home stretch. Brett Medlock, your third and final top game of 2022.
Ooh, third and final. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to give it to the classic, the very well-known Mass Effect Infiltrator for iPad. Was amazing. No, but
he's being serious right now too.
I mean, I can shout it out. It was a great game. It was. I bought it a long time ago at launch in 2011 or something like that on my iPod, like back, or maybe my iPhone, and I worked at a gas station, so I would play it there every once in a while. But at the same time, I had a 3DS, and I was just obsessed with that. And then the Vita came out, so I like played it for like 10 minutes and never played it again. And then I kept seeing like lists of like fun games to play, and I was like, I need to get back to that. So I go to download on my modern phone. You can't, for some reason, you can't play old stuff because it's so outdated. And then I remember, I have an old iPad that's still running the old OS of Apple. So I went there, went to my purchases, downloaded a game that I bought so long ago, like 10 years ago, and then played it for the first time.
You were 15.
And I mean, I was like 18, 19, 20, I don't know.
Oh shit.
But yeah, it was 10 years ago, so I was probably 20. But I liked it a lot. I thought it was great. It was challenging. It utilized a touchscreen to make it feel very natural, and it was a third-person shooter, and it was really unique for an iPad game. And I never thought I'd even be talking about it as one of my favorite games of the year, because it's definitely not. But it was really fun.
That was your pick, Brett. You don't get to continue. That was it.
It was one of my
breaking all the rules.
That was
one of the biggest surprises. How about let's go with that. I didn't expect it to be really fun, but it was. Aside from that, I'd have to give it to A Plague Tale Requiem. Okay, next person.
Ooh, man, that was gonna be mine.
All right, John. Third and final, go.
Okay. I think I'm done spinning my head.
Your neck hurts.
But there's still
One
so
more.
many more options, John. So many.
That's my favorite part of it.
Yeah. So at this, like a few hours ago, I had to basically just go through like a giant list on the internet of games that came out this year because I couldn't even remember what I'd played this year. Then finally, when I stumbled upon this, I was like, oh yeah, this is the game I'd been waiting for like years and loved to death. So my game of 2022 is of course Live Alive.
Alive. I was waiting for it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
We're gonna hear breakers.
Well, I almost included that at the beginning, but then I swapped it with Lost Judgment. But yeah, no, Live Alive, like it was everything I wanted it to be. Like I played the fan translation of the Super Famicom game like a decade ago, and I've been telling people ever since it's awesome and like it's ridiculous we never got it. And now it's finally
Mhm.
here and they remade it and like they didn't phone it in. It's like really beautiful. Like
Mhm.
it like uses like a lot of really terrific cinematic camera angles. It like
Yeah.
zooms in and then zooms out, and it's done really artfully in a way that was not a thing on Super Nintendo. There was no camera. It was just the screen. So like it's just really good. And it's more colorful than the other HD 2D games that have come out so far. All those games just look brown, basically. This game like
Mhm.
retains its Super Nintendo color
Yeah.
palette.
The
And
color
on top
palette's
of all
beautiful on
that,
that game.
yeah. And on top of all that, it's just really accessible. Like it's 8 bite-sized stories, and you can just play them however you'd like, and they're really fun, and nothing outstays its welcome, and they're all fresh, unique experiences. And I'm just really happy that like the rest of the world finally gets to play this game. And I'm happy for the dude Takashi Takita who made the thing, because like he obviously always knew it was good, but it stayed in Japan, and like I like just watching his Twitter, how like he was so happy to see the whole world playing his game, you know?
Aw,
Yeah,
Like,
that's cool. That was a
yeah,
cool
just
I
thing to
love
see.
that.
yeah, yeah. So it's just a happy situation for everybody, you know? And it's like it's not like it sold like a billion units or anything, but I think it sold, decently well
I think
for
it
what
did
it
pretty
is.
well. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
like
crazy.
I
Sorry.
no, go ahead.
I was gonna say it's crazy to look at the wiki and see its release. It says Super Famicom, September 1994, and then so long after that, Switch, July 22nd,
Yeah.
2022. Like,
It's,
who
it's
would have
pretty
thought?
amazing.
Like,
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
It's
about
pretty
him
amazing
in
how
like
that works.
2008. He doesn't even know his old ass game at that point is gonna get remade in like 15
In
years.
14 years is going to come back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it sold at least 500,000 copies, which for this type of game is like pretty good. So,
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's one of
Awesome.
those games that like
So-
I'm still seeing a lot of people that were hesitant to pick it up at launch because they weren't sure if they would like it, but they're now picking it up and they're like,
Mm.
oh, why did I doubt this game? Why did I wait to grab this? And me and John are like, and like all the other people who picked up at launch are like, yes, exactly. You're understanding. And like
Yeah.
I
I
took a
wanted to
chance
get it
on
at
it.
launch, but I didn't.
Yeah, I took a chance on it because John was excited and my friend Plenty of Time was like over the moon excited. And I was like, okay, 2
Mhm.
people are very, very hyped about this particular game. I'm just gonna trust them. So
Yeah, I played
Yeah.
through all of the demo and I liked it a lot, but I just I spent a lot of money around that time and Brett didn't want to go halvesy, so I'm gonna blame him.
You know what? I was
How
just going to
dare.
say, I'm surprised I never played that game because hearing John talk about it back then and now again like makes me want to play that game. So I'm going to get it and we're both going to play it in 2023. This will
I'm
be
sure
a
it'll go on
2023
sale.
game of ours.
yes.
I'm sure it just
And
went
it's
on
not-
sale when we missed it.
I don't know, but and it's not even a long game. Like I think I
Yeah.
finished it I forget, like 27 hours or something.
That's kind of long,
And
but
I
yeah.
kind of spent like I
Yeah,
kinda,
but if you
I kinda
take
took my time with
27
it. Well,
divided by
for an
8,
RPG, that
Yeah, you're
I'm
right.
like, that
It's
doesn't
yeah,
sound long
short for an
exactly.
RPG.
but also there's
Yeah.
8 stories,
Yeah,
right?
like-
So on average, what is
Yeah.
that? 27.
Can't
well,
math.
they're all different lengths too.
I can't
Yeah,
do
some
that.
are
The
math.
one
super
that's like
short.
kind of based on Street Fighter. Yeah,
So
the one that's
I
based
know
on
they're going to be
Street Fighter
different, but
you can
like
beat in like under an hour.
yeah, okay. And even
Yeah.
like just based off of average, they're like under 3.5 hours per story. Like that's perfect. That sounds great.
Something like that. Yeah. Like,
So,
and at the end, there's like you like do all the individual stories, but then there's like a final section where it's like quasi open world, and you get to pick your party from the people that you've used up to that point, and that's kind of
that's
like its
cool.
own like extra thing after the 8 stories. So yeah, and it's still within like 27ish hours.
Cool.
All
Yeah,
right. And
awesome.
Brett Larson, third and final of your top
Third
three
and
of
final.
2022.
So I'm getting my third and final, but I did just want to say like this is kind of like shout outs to the 2022 was kind of like the year of the side scroller puzzle platformers for me. I love those games. Some of them new, some of them old, but I just want to read how many I played this year. There was Planet Alpha, Aspire, Ina's Tale, A Juggler's Tale, Never Alone, Unravel 2, The Plane Effect, Trek to Yomi, Silt, Shady Part of Me, Eternal Hope, which Brett gifted me, Voyage, and to top it off, Somerville. So like all like
Damn.
12
some of
side-scrolling indies.
yeah, so they're
Wow.
all like some of them are like more serious in tone, some of them are more like comic-y and like, but I don't know, man. I just that is like comfort food to me is those types of games, and I played.
I was
a
just
lot of
gonna
them this
ask, like,
year.
what the draw was, to those types of games.
So honestly, so for me, I've always liked those games, but for some reason, ever since I played Inside, I've been finding an experience like that again. And I've played a few games that like come somewhat close. Nothing has ever matched Inside for me, but it just made me fall in love with that type of game where it's like it's simple yet it's can be challenging. Like some games, some of those on that list are a bit more challenging, like more puzzle focused, and some of them are more like you're into like it's almost like an emotional tale. So they're all vastly different, but yeah, I just love them, man. Like anytime I see anything like that, like Silt was coming out, and I was like, perfect. I love those kind of games. Trek to Yomi, perfect. That's totally my kind of game. Somerville, I ended up liking. I didn't like it as much as I was hoping I was going to, but overall, I really did end up liking it at the end of the day. So anyways, that's a shout to those games. And I won't go too far into this because I've said that I've talked about this game at nauseum as well. But my third game was going to also be A Plague Tale Requiem.
Not Mass Effect Infiltrator? Wow.
Not
shocked, appalled.
Not Mass Effect Infiltrator.
All right,
Best
Greg,
game of the year.
third and final game.
Well,
Apex
first I got a shout out.
Legends.
I got a shout out, definitely. River City Girls 2. Someone said it was more the same. It is, but it isn't. I mean, there's so much more depth to it. They've added, a lot more characters. A little. I think it's just like TLC to each different parts of the levels. Where, yeah, you're in the same areas, but there's a lot more interactive elements to it and whatnot. But I am going to shout out as one of my top choices, Apex Legends. You didn't
play that very much though.
Well, I was just looking at my hours, so I logged 1,300 hours last year in just the PC version.
Oh my
but
gosh.
The thing the thing that keeps recapturing me is the game evolves. Weapons come and go. There's different modes that they add. But even recently, like I've laid off the battle royale and I started playing a lot more of the arenas mode, which is like a 3v3 versus in like a smaller arena. And like you really start to craft your strategies there and get familiar with weapons, close quarters combat. You pick up weapons that you probably wouldn't pick up in game. They did gun run, which was like Fiesta mode for Halo, and they added this other one where you had like these like sections of the map that you had to capture and kind of a capture the flag element. But the one thing that I enjoy most is like the game literally has something for everyone. They introduce new legends that you can choose, and like even this year they introduced their first trans character, and I just thought like that's like to make that like your flagship announcement for a season, and allow people to experience a character that they see themselves as or would like to play as, or even just somebody cool in the game that has different types of abilities, and how like each one of them doesn't necessarily overpower another one. Yeah, you can have these two tank characters, and then one is more like a defensive character, but like there's plenty of other legends that you can choose from to counter their abilities, their ultimates, their passive. And I found myself using more and more characters. I can probably pick any one of the characters on the roster at this point and get kills and get wins during matches. But I do like the evolution of Apex Legends, how they just keep adding new things. And yeah, sometimes it is somewhat of a drip feed, and to some degree there is an kind of an overabundance of items that you have to spend money for. But I mean, I haven't bought a battle pass in like 4 seasons, and I've been playing since season 1. And I if there's something that I genuinely want, I'll still get challenges to unlock it, but I'm still unlocking stuff as the game goes on. And like Brett Larson was saying, Dilf Larson, it is my comfort food. It's something I can, go on. Definite confidence booster when you get into a match with like, other people that are playing a lot better than you, and you can still get a knock, you can still get kills, you can snipe somebody from like, 500 yards out and still have a good time and meet new people. And that's something that, I've loved, since playing this game and posting my content about it. I've met other people that also play, and now I watch their streams. Now, they share, TikTok videos, and I love watching them play and just seeing how they play, and incorporate those elements and those strategies into how I navigate this massive map. So definitely Apex Legends.
Nice.
1,000 hours this year. Wow.
I know. I was like, that's a lot of hours, but
I wrote
I've
1,300.
I've logged a lot of hours in Dead by Daylight, so I can't really talk for like how many hours I've logged in one game this year.
The most I
too
ever
easy.
logged was I played Battlefield 4 for over 1,000 hours, but that's probably the most that like of any.
See, that's how it was
multiplayer
with
game ever.
Battlefield 3, and I miss it.
Yeah, Battlefield 3 was great.
All right, and then my third and final game, I do want to do my little special shout out, but to Kirby and Forgotten Land. But everyone here is already, we've talked about how much we love Kirby. We all know we love Kirby. But my third and final game is Tunic, which is Fox Zelda. It's another game that's like really cute, but it was more challenging than I thought it would be. And I enjoyed it though. And I really liked the aspect of like finding like the pages to like figure out like what to do next, and like you're piecing the story together as you go. And then the puzzles within the game were something that I hadn't encountered in like recent like other games that I'd played, and that it made me think in a totally different way. Like again with like Radiant Dawn, like I had to get pen and paper out and had to like actually draw like symbols out and like make sense of like certain things. So Tunic was definitely up there, and it's on Game Pass. Go play it.
Yeah, the Tunic is one of those games that I can't believe wasn't, at least for the gaming awards. I was surprised that wasn't a nominee instead of Stray for Game of the Year, because there's so many people that love that game. Like it was, I felt like there was way more of a conversation around that than Stray. I still don't understand how Stray won or was a nominee.
Yeah, I think Tunic had like an early access at one point, so it's had a bit of a following for quite a bit. But then Stray kind of snuck up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Stray's really good too, though. It's cute.
It's good, yeah.
All right, and we're just gonna rapid fire through our top 3 most anticipated games, because there are a couple news topics that I'd like us to be able to hit. So, Brett Medlock, top 3 most anticipated games of 2023. You're muted, by the way.
All right, I didn't write anything down, so off the top of my head, right now I'm thinking about it. And number 3 goes to The
Halo
Wolf
Season
Among Us.
4.
The Wolf Among Us, number 2.
I almost put that on mine too.
So yeah,
So
are we
good.
doing all three right now? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
So
I
the
was
Wolf
gonna say,
Among
we'll just
Us,
rapid fire
Yeah.
through these.
Yeah.
definitely Starfield, and then of course Tears of the Kingdom. Let's just go
Yeah.
with those.
All right, John.
Definitely Tears of the Kingdom. I think we're all in
Yeah.
agreement here.
I think everyone's gonna
Yeah.
say
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
And like there isn't a ton that's like just jumping out at me that I know for sure will come out in 2023. But that being said, Like a Dragon Ishin, just because
Mm.
it's another Like a Dragon. Like honestly not ultra excited about this because I don't know yet how I'm gonna feel about the samurai setting, but still Like a Dragon, so I'm gonna have a fun time with it.
Yeah, you just gotta
And
trust them.
lastly, a game that yeah. Lastly, a game that hasn't actually been announced yet, but was leaked like 2 or 3 years ago in a leak, so we kind of know it's coming. Next year is probably the year that a new Mega Man game of some sort comes out.
Oh
And to
yeah.
this day, we don't know what it is, but it's been going by the name Mega Man Tyson, and also in the Nvidia leak, it was called Mega Man Match. So we don't know what it is. Apparently, it has more budget than a Mega Man game usually gets. It might have like an online experience of some kind, but like truly, we don't know what this thing is. We just know that there's like a Mega Man game with a budget in development, and it seems likely to release next year. Not positive, but seems likely. So whatever
Okay.
that is,
Oh.
that's like my most anticipated thing after Zelda. The game that
Watch
has
it be
not been
like a
announced,
watch it be like a match 3 puzzle game,
right? Yeah, that's what a
like
lot
a
of people
Candy
were worried
Crush
about.
match 3.
Yeah.
Would you
That's
would you
life.
absolutely hate it if it was a Smash Bros clone?
Well, I mean, there's people wondering like if it's gonna be like, is it like a fighting game? Like like there's speculation that this might be some sort of multiplayer Mega Man game, and like I don't know. I just have to see it to know. I just got to see it.
Mhm.
We don't know anything
Isn't
official yet, so
isn't Mega Man your favorite like gaming franchise?
yeah,
Is
like
that
my
you?
favorite
Okay.
video game character in general is Mega Man.
Okay,
So yeah,
okay.
I play everything that he's in. So
That's cool.
I'm just
right.
excited for whatever this thing turns out to be.
All right, Brett Larson. 3 anticipated
this
games
is-
2023. Go.
Rapid fire.
This is so hard. It really was. But I tried to mix mine up a little bit and like put games that I haven't talked too much about that I'm super excited about. Obviously, Tears of the Kingdom, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, Dead Island 2, and
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good choices.
Spider-Man 2 is probably my fourth.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I mean, it's probably neck and neck with The Wolf Among Us 2. But yeah, can't wait.
All
Dual
right.
wield in Jedi Survivor just sounds sick as hell.
Dude, the Jedi Survivors, I can't wait for
The
that
hook
game.
shot, man.
can't
That's all
wait
I
for
care
it.
about. Hook shot.
Yep.
Always the hook shot. All right,
Yep.
Greg. Top 3, go.
So I am definitely excited. Dead Island 2 for sure. Everybody was kind of turned off by Redfall, but I'm really looking forward to the different abilities that each character has, and slaying some vampires and just the environment that the game has set itself up in. And I forgot that I finished Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity this year. So it kind of set me up to get that to reignite that excitement for Zelda and absolutely Tears of the Kingdom.
I'm so proud of all of
Yes.
you for saying Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah. Oh God. I mean, how could
I
you
mean,
not? Like,
Yeah, what
Jesus.
kind of
I
You
freak
never-
are
you
you
never
for not
know.
anticipating
You
Breath of
never
the
know.
the first game was like a generational. Like, it's like one of those
Yeah.
games that everyone's going to talk about for
an
the
unparalleled masterpiece.
right. Yeah.
So, and my
Oh no, I don't
3
care about the sequel.
Yeah, man. I could.
All right. And then my 3, Hollow Knight Silk Song. It's happening. It's finally
In
happening.
2024 for sure. Yeah.
2023. They said, and they did
They
it. They
did.
did the tweet. Yeah, they made it a tweet. There's still no date, but Xbox tweeted that in 2023,
Yeah, I
Hollow
saw
Knight Silk
that.
Song.
And
Sea of-
I believe they still confirm that it's the first 6 months, right?
They said
Yeah.
from their summer
It was
thing
in
that
June,
was within a
so-
year. Yeah.
Yeah,
It
so
was with
before
all those were
June.
within. Mhm.
Yeah.
Was it? Didn't
Then
the
again,
tweet say
again,
like "Nuff said"?
Yeah, I
What?
think so. I think they know.
Then again, that's good old Lion Phil Spencer that said that. So
Yeah.
you never
Oh
know.
my
really.
Quit trying to make it a thing, Brett. It's never going to be a thing.
My number 2 is going to be Sea of Stars, which is a tactical kind of Chrono Trigger-esque looking RPG. It's beautiful looking, and it even has the composer from Chrono Trigger, and I saw that he also did Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and Chrono Cross.
Oh
You
yeah.
contributed to
so
them, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, you definitely
yeah,
did
it
Chrono
says,
Cross,
yeah,
yeah.
it says
The game
special
looks
guest
so pretty.
composer.
On
I'm
Xenoblade,
so
yeah.
excited for it.
Yeah.
It looks like
God,
it's
this
gonna
looks
be
pretty.
yeah.
I'm
so-
going
and
to play
the
through
music is
the
gonna
Messenger
be
before this again.
Yeah,
Same
I'm
I'm gonna
Yeah.
play
studio,
it for the
right?
first time. Yeah,
Yeah,
same
same
guys.
studio, and
set in
Sea
the
of Stars
same
is
world.
a prequel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm,
Sea
Is
of
it really
Stars
the
is
same
a
world?
Shit.
I know that.
Messenger.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Dude, the Messenger was amazing.
I
Absolutely.
bought it. I need to play
And I-
it. So
Yeah, I
Ooh,
need to
nice.
play
this
it
year.
too. I'm the same.
I didn't
I
like
have
that
it.
game
I haven't
like
played
at
it.
all. I'm
Really?
the
You
Oh
didn't
only
like the
no.
person.
Messenger?
I'm the only person who is a Messenger hater, yeah.
Did you like Cyber Shadow?
Yeah, I like Cyber Shadow a lot.
Okay, well, at least I can still love you.
Yeah.
All right, and then my third and final game, to no surprise, Tears of the Kingdom.
Yes,
Yeah.
of course.
Very.
You also had the
Very
last case of Benedict Fox on there though, and that's one
Yeah.
that I have my eye on as well.
Yeah,
Looks
like
amazing.
between that one and then I was like, no, I gotta mention Silk Song, because I've been on that Silk Song, like
Yeah.
waiting for it for so many years. But yeah, Last Case of Benedict Fox, special shout out. I'm very
amazing.
excited for
Yeah.
that one. Also going to be on Game Pass.
Yeah. Also,
Um,
shout out to Replaced, which is also going to be a Game Pass game.
Hey,
Oh, it's
Mary,
amazing. too.
Yes.
you don't have an Xbox, right? So you play on PC?
I have an Xbox.
Oh, okay. I thought you were only on
Yeah.
PC. I was wondering if you were a monthly sub or if you only subbed whenever there was a game you cared about came out.
Nah, I do monthly, and I've actually played more games on it in 2022 than I had previously. I thought like 2022 was going to be like a PlayStation year for me. It ended up being like an Xbox and Switch year. So I was kind of surprised. But
Yeah.
to get into some news stories, speaking of Tears of the Kingdom, how about that rumored OLED model?
Oh yeah.
Isn't it gorgeous?
Yeah.
Isn't it just
I'm
absolutely
gonna
beautiful?
let y'all
The
go
design.
first,
I
because
mean,
I
looks
have
pretty
some really
convincing.
spicy opinions.
Yeah.
I honestly think it's real, but I don't think it's as ugly as you do. But it looks like a circuit board or something. It looks weird.
Yeah.
It's so ugly.
Yeah.
hate
But you're
it.
gonna
not-
buy it.
No, I would not buy it. Okay, the design that's on it, if it's real, is so generic. They used it on the
Yeah.
Hyrule version of the 3DS, which is just a generic Zelda 3DS. It wasn't tied to a specific game. There's like 5 Zelda model 3DSs out there. This is one that wasn't paired with a game release, I don't think. And the only other time they've used that Triforce design, other than the 3DS, is on the book for Arts and Artifacts. So it's a super generic, rarely used design. They don't even put it on merch. I dug around a lot because I was like, I know I've seen this Triforce design because they've used it somewhere. And people are like, well, they reuse assets all the time. I'm like, yeah, but it's so generic for a Tears
Yeah.
of the Kingdom model.
It definitely is not impressive. So the left Joy-Con, I can't stop seeing, because I used to work for a company. We made like medical and like military products, and we
Mhm.
worked with circuit boards, and it's that gold
With the
and
government?
green. That's
Ooh.
right. That's right. For the government. I probably am going to get shot just for talking about it, to tell you the truth.
Brett Larson, FBI agent, confirmed.
No, but it's that same gold and green. And every time I look at it, I see a circuit board, and it just,
Mhm.
I don't know. It looks ugly to me.
It looks like something that like Power A or like some third party company would make, or like that Afterglow brand. Like
Mhm.
that's what it looks like to me. Like
Well, and
something you'd buy
something-
on the accessory shelf.
yeah, and something that someone brought up in like a group chat that I'm in is that it's really odd that no pictures of the dock were shown out of the package. The
that's
Joy-Cons are
true.
there, but Joy-Cons are really easy to like buy custom cases for. And the person who took the photos has custom Joy-Cons. So, you know,
What if it
but
lights up?
no, still wouldn't buy
It doesn't.
Still wouldn't buy it.
No.
But like,
I don't buy dog shit.
I don't buy ugly
eat it.
stuff.
Curse, Mary, curse. Do it.
Stuff.
Y'all yelled at me whenever I cursed before the podcast. Y'all were like, "It's so weird to hear Mary swear."
Yeah.
Y'all were like, so
you don't
shocked.
do that. Quit that.
Yeah.
No.
It's so unbecoming of you, Mary.
How dare I swear like a sailor in my off time? But yeah, like, and other people are saying like this is gonna be real because this person has apparently leaked Nintendo Switch like deluxe models before or like special editions. I'm like, look, there's always a chance for a leaker to be wrong, and you can do custom packaging. Like there, you can do fancy Photoshop. As somebody who's done fancy Photoshop before,
Yeah.
the limits.
So if the like what would what would it have to be, or like what would you want out of a design that would make you buy it instead of shit all over it?
Just
Shirtless
something
Link.
not generic like that. Like the new Tears of the Kingdom logo has that really cool like dual serpent. It's got that really pretty like teal blue color.
Yeah.
You know, there's
Yeah.
probably a ton of other imagery that we just haven't seen yet.
For sure, yeah.
But at least like the dual serpents, like if they did that with like some other cool motifs, and we saw in the recent trailer, I'm trying to think of the right word for it, like a mural that had like a bunch of symbols on it. Like there's other stuff to make it feel more special and make it feel more Tears of the Kingdom that they could do other than slap a generic Triforce on it.
Yeah, especially like now that I've seen so many other just like 3D printed docks that people make. Like I saw an Animal Crossing one and I was like, holy shit, this looks fucking cool. Like, why doesn't Nintendo do anything like this? And they're like, no, you get a generic design of our OLED model for one of our biggest games ever.
Yeah, it's probably going to be, do I want to say their biggest release of 2023? I think it, yeah, unless they do like a Mario Kart 9 or like a new Mario game, Tears of the Kingdom I think could be the biggest Nintendo release of like this year.
Oh, for sure.
I still don't feel like it's
probably going to be the biggest of the
release a new
decade.
Mario.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
If
even
Mario-
if
I
they
still-
release a new Mario,
Mario
Zelda's
Kart
still
would
kinda
probably
higher.
be bigger though,
Yeah, that's
in
why I said
terms
like
of the sales.
mhm.
Just
But not
sheer
the-
numbers and sales, yeah, for sure.
But not the
I get what you're
internet,
saying.
like if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't think it'll outsell Breath of the Wild, but I still think it's a pretty big contender for
no.
just being a top game.
I saw
You don't think it'll
somebody
outsell Breath of the Wild?
Yeah.
Think about it.
I
All right,
don't
I
think
was,
so.
I was-
There was
More people
way
have
too much
Switches
hype
now,
behind.
too.
hang
Yeah.
on. When Breath of the Wild came out and got all them sales, there was only
Outsold
like
the Switch.
but there were way fewer Nintendo Switches in the
Right.
wild. Now
Mhm.
there's like 120 million or something like that.
Yeah.
Like you would think that at least 20 or like 40% of those people would be buying Tears of the Kingdom. But I don't know, maybe not.
I don't
I
know. I
saw
don't
some-
think it's
It's so weird when you think about that. Like the PS4, there
Mario
was 100 and
Kart
how many?
Pat-
100.
John,
I think
what's
John's
happening? Are you a
talking.
robot?
Yeah, I think John
Yeah,
cut
John, I
out.
think you're dipping out. Well,
Yeah.
we figure out
He
what's going on
froze.
with him.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say it's so weird, like with exclusives and consoles. Like how many was there? Over 200 million PS4s total? Wasn't it?
No, it's
what was the
100,
final number?
100 something.
It was high, it was really.
Is it 150? It's 117 million, and The Last of Us only.
Oh,
Oh, wait, so The Last
117.
of Us
117
2 or The
where does it
Last
get
of Us?
200? Yes, so yeah, exactly what I'm saying. So it had 117 million people owned a PS4, and there was like 15 million copies of The Last of Us was sold before the remaster, like something absurd. So it's like 10% of people that own a PS4 are playing.
It seems
one of
like
the
it only
greatest
sold
games of
10
all
million.
time.
The Last
Yeah,
of Us 2, that's one of the worst actually. But I get what you're saying.
Mhm.
But yeah, so that's my point though, and I know PlayStation's way worse than Nintendo. It seems like Nintendo, when there's an exclusive that's important,
Way
like a
higher
lot more
attach
of
rate.
at the percentage. The attach rate is a lot higher for Switch owners.
But it also, I mean, Breath of the Wild sold in a time of starvation. There was like so few games on the Switch, and what did you play? What was the game?
I mean,
Snipper Clips.
it just come
question-
out, right? Is it only like a
Snipper clips.
And
The question was though, back when the Switch came out, no one even knew it was like it could have been another Wii U situation that wasn't
Right.
popular at all. No one would have cared about it and just would have floundered.
Yeah.
And floundered? Is that a I don't know. I don't
Floundered,
even know if I
yeah.
use that right.
Floundered, yeah.
So yeah,
Pregnant
I'm hoping-
pause.
yeah, exactly. I'm hoping that the
Baby's
sequel.
falling out.
I'm hoping that that Breath of the Wild wasn't just like a one-off, and then the sequel sells like half as much. Like I'm hoping Zelda continues to get more popular, because if you look at the mainline releases, with every release since
Mhm.
Ocarina of Time, they've sold fewer and fewer copies. So, yeah,
I'd take my bet. I'd probably say that it sells half as well.
I think it's
No,
gonna
I
sell
don't think
more.
it'll do.
I think it's going to sell more.
You think
as well.
so?
I think
Yeah.
so, because like even if like, I mean, there's so many people like where did I see this comment that like made me feel old? Like someone on Reddit was like, Breath of the Wild came out in my last year of elementary school, and now Tears of the Kingdom's coming out my last year of high
God.
school.
Jesus
And I was like,
Christ.
Man.
What?
Well, thanks for having me on the podcast.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go
But-
fuck off now.
Breath of the Wild was the introduction to Zelda for so many people
Yeah.
that I think there's so
That
many
is
like
absurd.
new Zelda. I
Bunch of
know.
freaks.
Don't you feel old?
Yes.
Guys, you know what's crazy?
Uh,
Skyward Sword only sold 3.6 million units, and that was the last mainline game before Breath of the Wild, which went on to sell like 28 million or something.
Mhm.
Like absolutely huge spike in the series compared to like the trajectory it was heading in. So I'm glad that they decided to mix it up and change it a bit, even though it's at first I was like, this isn't Zelda, and I was like all upset about it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But
it's
I
great.
think it's gonna sell more. But we got another rumor up in our little news topics. The Persona 3 remake is apparently in development, which seems odd because doesn't that come out on Game Pass with Persona 4 this month? Like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
apparently this
stupid.
is Persona 3 Portable is like the short-term money grab, and then they're also doing like a full-blown remake, like Persona 5 looking style and combat with Persona 3. I was reading John's
Right.
message, and it was like talking at the same time, so it was messing me up.
Yeah, and by the way, John, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. You were talking earlier, and I didn't realize it because it was like mute. So it looked like I was just being an asshole and like just disregarding what you had to say and just talking. But it's because I didn't realize.
Typical Dilf Larson behavior.
Yeah. Typical.
Are
no,
we
he-
hearing me yet though?
Yeah, we hear you now,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah,
were
now I
cutting
hear
off
you.
for a while.
Okay, I'm back. Yeah, no, I hope this remake stuff is just BS because it makes no sense. Like, just
No, do it.
invest those
Do
resources
it.
in getting Persona 6 done.
yeah,
It's probably a
Make
different
people
team.
Suffer.
The downside is that
Like-
is like a lot of people are gonna play Persona 3 Portable now, and then when this remake does come out, they're gonna be like, oh, I don't need to play that again. But like,
yeah, well, that's me.
this
Yeah,
game
I'm not gonna
deserved
bother playing
Yeah.
a remake.
this game deserved a definitive version because Portable isn't that. It
Needs to
changed
be-
a lot of things and made a lot of things better, but it's not. John, you're cutting out again for me.
Oh,
No.
John.
I don't know.
So yeah, I just heard like a
don't know.
robot noise.
I want the Frisha to return.
I miss him.
So yeah, I want this remake to be real, just in case more people can play it, and as like its definitive version with all the animations that they had, with all the cutscenes and all that stuff.
I just think
Yeah.
it's stupid timing. Like Mary said, it's
Yeah.
being released again right now. Like,
Well,
I don't
there
know.
like you said, there's like the portable version. There's two versions of Persona 3, and like they're not doing the one version. I haven't played Persona 3, so I can't speak for it. But like Persona 3 Portable, which is the one that they released on Game Pass, doesn't have the fancy animations and it doesn't have some of the quality of life things. So that's why people were confused why they didn't just merge the two and then put that on Game Pass. But then why would they put it on Game Pass and then release the definitive, like the all-in-one version later? I don't know. It seems odd.
Yeah, it seems like strange timing for sure. I think you're back to John. If you want to finish what you're saying,
John, do you know where this leak or this rumor comes from?
Some dude.
Lol.
Like Game Rant source some random person.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And
That's
then,
right.
like my Nintendo News source Game Rant. So it's like I don't know. Like I
Then
like I
they
think
and they
Game
they
Rant
sourced
claimed that
22
this
words.
person
and-
like leaked the Persona 3 remaster, and I don't know who this person is because I think what's his name? The dude Zippo. Like Zippo is the first person I saw report on the Persona 3 remaster, and it wasn't Zippo that said this. So I don't know who this random person is, but I hope it's Game Rant BS.
If you ain't Zippo, then zip it.
Yeah,
To say.
That's right.
Speaking
That's
of,
his kill that all
But
the
they
time.
are still sitting on Project Refantasy though. That's the next game from the Persona team. It's not the Persona team making the next Persona. They're making this
Wait,
fantasy
really?
game that they've been working on for like I don't know 3-4 years or something or however long.
Who the hell's
Yeah.
making the next Persona?
yeah.
Oh, like I'm sure there's some people in common from the previous games. But like the core creative team of Persona 5 is making Project Refantasy.
I didn't even know this. I
I
can't
didn't
even
either.
believe it.
I didn't either, but I am not in the know with Persona, so I wouldn't know
Yeah.
anyways.
So I don't know who the Persona 6 team is. Right.
Hmm.
Is Persona 6 even a real thing yet?
The main composer, he actually went
John's internet is so bad.
like quickly, something like that. All right,
We didn't hear
Okay,
you
I
that
heard-
much.
I'll quit for the night.
Oh,
it
part
keeps
of
saying
it.
your bandwidth is low, and yeah, I think
Oh,
you,
does
you
it? I
must
didn't
have
see that.
bad. Yeah,
Ooh.
you must have
Alright.
shitty connection right now. I don't know.
continuing our start of the year rumor mill with random people leaking, quote unquote, I'll believe it when it's true, things on the internet.
Stuff is
This-
probably not real.
Yeah, this is going to apparently be the year for Metroid Prime 4, according to random leaker 1234556 on the internet. However,
Hang on, who is it though? Is
It
it
was
Nate
the same
the
person.
Hate?
This
It literally says verified Reddit leaker,
Oh, never
whatever
mind.
that means.
I don't
hate
even know what
that.
that means.
Right.
I hate it
we're
too.
talking
That's why I
about
was
a.
like,
We're talking about a lot of
Verified
rumors and leaks
Reddit
tonight. Like,
leaker?
nothing is real.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
So
all just
that's
fun.
what, but
Yeah, for sure.
as far as Metroid goes, though, I will say, like, from like how Nintendo like markets things standpoint, I if I had to guess, I think summer for Metroid Prime 4 because it's after the Mario movie launches and it's after Tears of the Kingdom. So they will have gotten those two big things out the door. They're done marketing them. They've raked in the dollars, and now they can finally give us a trailer for Metroid Prime 4 after the success that we saw with Metroid Dread. So
I don't even
This-
think this game's coming anytime soon.
oh my
I th-
gosh.
I think we're gonna get Metroid Prime 1 remake before Metroid Prime 4.
That's like saying we're gonna get Twilight Princess and Wind Waker HD remakes before Tears of the Kingdom, and look where we are.
We might, we could.
Hey,
We're-
Nintendo
after-
does what Nintendo don't.
After
Know what I mean?
Dead
what,
Island
what does
2,
that mean?
I don't know.
After Dead Island 2 came back from the dead out of nowhere at E3 this year, anything is possible to me now. Like, I thought that game was as dead in the water as anything that's ever been canceled. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Dead Island 2 comes back with this amazing gameplay trailer. And you're like, holy shit, not only is it still a thing, but it's amazing too. So you never know. You never know.
Yeah.
Speaking of things that we never expect to come back, there's also a rumor that 2023 will be the time for F-Zero to return.
Nice. I really hope this is real.
It's just the GameCube remaster.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
You know
That's
what? I
already
think
on,
fans will take a remaster though. I think F-Zero fans are just like, please, anything, something.
Yeah, something.
Dude, if this
especially
if F-Zero GX did get a remaster or a remake or anything, my son would frickin' be so excited. He plays the original
Plays it a lot.
GX so much to this day, and yeah, I'd be happy to get it for him.
I played recently on the Wii U. We played Mario Party, and we threw in Sonic and All Stars Racing Transformed, and like even playing the most recent the Sonic Team Racing. It's refreshing to play something on a Nintendo platform that isn't Mario Kart, but still has like the spirit of Mario Kart and or like speed and competitive racing in like kart form. So I feel like I don't know. I feel like F-Zero would be a great inclusion into having it as another racer in the Nintendo library, like especially on the Switch.
Mhm.
Like give us more party games, more multiplayer racing games like that.
I'm surprised that like it's been so long since there's been one of those and like a Wipeout. Like those, there was some Wipeout was such a big thing for so long, and then it just disappeared. And who knows if we'll ever get another one? But I just feel like that it's been long enough without that kind of a racer that it would do really well if it came out.
I'm still hung up on that. I played Breath of the Wild when I was in elementary school, and now I'm graduating high school.
Yeah.
That's
Which
insane.
is funny because that's exactly the situation I was in for my ex and her son. I bought him the limited bundle, but as of right now, he's probably about getting ready to graduate high school, and he was in elementary at the time. So
Oh
I
man.
feel that.
And didn't Nintendo say at one point that Tears of the Kingdom was a DLC? That they
It
decided
started
to,
as a DLC, yeah, and then it just grew
and then it took
into
7 years to make.
Yeah. Well, they just kept adding to it like more and more and more. And then they're like, you know what? We're just gonna make this its own game.
Right.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Hey, some of the
I
best
mean-
games ever have come that way.
Ew, if it comes
got
out
'em.
if it comes out in when May, is that what it's planned for?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Isn't that still technically one of the shortest development cycles in recent years for a Zelda mainline game?
No, I think it's the longest ever.
Yeah.
What, really?
It's
I
been pretty
thought,
long,
uh,
yeah.
I thought Skyward Sword to Breath of the Wild was really long.
Well,
Breath of the Wild was
Triforce
15, right?
Heroes.
So this would be 8 years.
That don't count.
It's mainline.
No, we're talking about console mainline Zelda game.
Okay.
Okay.
The first result
Not
on Google for
handhelds.
longest Zelda development cycle is Destructoid. And at
Oh,
this
there we
point,
go.
it's been the longest gap between mainline Zelda games ever.
Oh, I'm an
according to
idiot.
Chris Carter.
This
I
will
guess
be
it's-
8
I
years,
guess-
right?
You know what it is? It's the fact that when you're old and in your late 20s into your 30s, time flies way faster. So it
Yeah.
feels like the shortest amount of time has gone by, but it's actually the longest.
In my head,
You
it's
joke,
always
but that's an actual phenomenon, though. That's a real thing that happens with age.
Yeah, it just keeps
Yeah.
going quicker and
It
quicker.
does.
Dude, like
Yeah.
that 4 years of high school, that was the longest thing in the world
It was like
compared
10
to the
years.
last 4 years. Yeah, it was like, and those years were so like defining, and you remember everything. And then from like 22 to 26, I don't remember any of those years. Like they just flew by.
Yeah, right. Right. Yeah.
What was
the
I
black
doing?
hole.
22 to 20. Oh. I worked a lot. I was like, that's why.
yeah.
What'd you do? Like at like your normal job?
I worked at the football stadium in Houston. With the convention
Oh,
center and
shit.
concert arena. I did their social media marketing. So
Wow.
Nice.
Cool.
yep. Had no life outside of work though.
Big difference from now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally have a life.
Absolutely. Shockingly, I do have a better work-life balance now than I did back then in my early 20s.
The most human interaction I get that's not my family is literally every Tuesday night on this podcast.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I go into the office every couple days during the week, and I absolutely despise it. I'd rather just be home and talking to people through a screen.
Yeah. I'd rather be like
Alright.
Wall-E, just all of us in floating chairs in VR.
No.
Yeah.
Just getting morbidly obese.
I'm not ready for that
Yeah.
level yet. All right. But I think we'll wrap up the news since we're going a little long, and I do want to cover what we're playing. So, who wants to go first? Nobody? Maybe
You can go first.
me. Okay, cool. So my New Year's Eve was spent on my couch playing Yakuza 0. I did get
Ooh.
15 to do a little toast. But I'm finally, it no longer gave me a chapter number, it just says finale.
Whoa.
So I am actually at the end now of
Crazy.
Yakuza 0.
I never thought it would have happened. I actually bet against it. I'm
Oh
just
my
kidding.
gosh. I probably would have bet against it too if it not for figuring out what my issue was with the comp with that stupid autobiography,
That
whatever
Cursed
item. Yes, but
It's cool to see your turnaround on that game, like because you went from
Yeah.
being like it was fun, but I can't do it anymore. I'm done with this game. So now
She
you're
couldn't
like
get
at the
off
end
the
and like
ground.
Yeah, I
so
couldn't
that's-
stand
that's been pretty
up.
cool.
But now I'm on my feet all the time. I'm punching things. I spend way too much time still doing the cabaret club
The best
thing.
part.
It's so fun.
good.
But it's really cool too, like how it's so silly at times. And then I finally was like, okay, buckle down. Gonna do the main story. I was like, I'll do like one bit of the main story, then I'll go back to doing my club management because I can't get enough of it. And then all of a sudden I'm like, well, now I gotta do the main story. Well, now I gotta do the main story. What is happening right now? Like there's a lot going
Right.
on, and I need to
It's-
know what
it's-
happens next. And
Mhm.
so probably next podcast I'll be able to give my final words on Yakuza 0.
Oh, man.
nice.
And then I also decided that it is time for me to get an Extreme Measures 4 clear on Hades. So that's going to be a
Yeah.
challenge.
Oh, man.
I almost got it last night on stream. I had him down to a third of his health. It was my third
Wow.
try. And I was
Damn.
proud, but I was like, this is going to take a bit, but I'm still loving that game so much.
When
Is
are you
that
gonna
like
stream
the
it
hardest
again?
difficulty or something?
Yeah, basically Extreme Measures is like part of the Pact of Punishment, which means it changes the boss fights completely.
Okay.
It adds in like all these extra mechanics. It just changes those fights on like such an extreme level.
Yeah.
And like yeah, like that final fight, it's rough.
Damn.
But it's really fun and I'm gonna feel really accomplished whenever I
Damn.
get it. But I'll probably stream it on tomorrow on Wednesday. We'll see if I
Oh,
get
hell
it.
yeah. I'm tuning in for
I
that.
feel like such a baby. I'm dropping games to easy, and Mary's fucking cranking them up to like extremely hard.
Give me hard mode. All right.
Yep.
Let's
And even when it doesn't
see.
say hard mode, she manages to sniff it out.
Right.
I find it, which is funny because like I used to never choose hard mode for things, and now
Yeah.
like it's only been the past
Like you
couple of
joined a
years. I'm like,
gang.
yeah, now I get it. I get why
Team
people choose
Extreme.
hard mode. Anything I just feel the
Extreme Mary.
adrenaline.
I just have no patience for like playing the same section 10 times in a row. That's just me.
Yeah.
I know, like, I feel like I'm becoming like the minority when it comes to that stuff, but I just like
No, you're
if
still
I have to I gotcha.
I didn't even hear
No,
him.
but yeah. No, but if I
Never
But if
fails,
I'm
John.
playing like a
Anyway.
if I'm playing a part on a game too many times in a row, maybe this is part of me getting older too, just like we talked about with like the whole time flies. But like for me, I've just gotten less, or like my patience is almost like completely gone. So I'm like, if I die like 3 or 4 times, I'm like, go immediately to the difficulty settings. Is there an easy? Great. Shrink that shit down. Get past this part, go back to normal to keep playing. But
I just like John's mentality where it's just like, ah, fuck this, I quit.
He's
Yeah.
done.
I could do that sometimes.
It got
He's
boring, so I
freaking
quit.
Yeah.
I was bored for about 5 minutes, so I just deleted the game. I'm never gonna play it again or think about
Oh
it.
my gosh.
Yep.
Uh,
I think the
All
only
right.
game I ever played where I was completely committed to like seeing it on like every difficulty level was Metal Gear Solid 2, because I
Which is
wanted
such
to
a good
collect
game.
every dog tag and each
Oh,
difficulty
yeah.
except
Yep,
European
that's
Extreme,
right.
regular Extreme at the same. It had its own dog tags, so I had to get them all because I loved
That's
that
right.
game to death. So that
That
was
was
like the
amazing.
one time, but yeah.
That
Yeah,
is
that
like
was
my
good
pie
stuff.
in the sky remake is a Metal Gear Solid 1 or 2 remake. It's gonna happen at some point, and I'll lose my shit when it
It
does.
could, yeah. I mean, the rumor is they're remaking 3 right now, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird, but that
Oh,
is the
3's
rumor.
amazing too. Yeah.
They're starting with
All
3. I think
right.
because it's a prequel or something. I don't know. What?
Brett Medlock, what are you playing?
You know, the game everyone else is playing. Dragon Ball Z Supersonic Warriors on Game Boy Advance.
The title's so long, I literally watched him read it from this fucking page in front of him.
I didn't even read it, but I guess it looked like it. But yeah, this game's really cool. It's funny how intense it is and how fast and fluid it is when it's a GBA game, and there's
It's just a
literally
fighting
2
game,
buttons.
right?
Yeah, it's a fighting game, and but it's different because like it feels almost like a console game because of the fact that you're able to like fly up in the air, you're like fighting in the air, and then you can slam someone down, they fly down to the ground, and then the ground explodes. And during the GBA, that was like a time where people had to keep on doing pixel art whenever consoles weren't doing it. So all those GBA games have actually aged way better than the console games that came out during that same time. And it still looks gorgeous. Like it's like all the GBA games are almost all just stunning.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
it's like super cool. Like it goes through the story that we've heard dozens and thousands of times through like the Cell games and then Boo and all that stuff. But they do change it up a little bit. I heard that it has like different endings that you can get, and you can play as like 10 different characters or something, and each one has their own like mini story. So that's really cool. The only downside is that it's really hard, like extremely hard. And well, for me, I'm not a fighting game guy, so I'm on like the 5th fight, still struggling to beat like the 5th fight of the very first character. But I think I'm getting better, and it's crazy like how much you can actually do with just the 2 buttons that the Game Boy Advance had. Like you punch, you kick, you block, you do like
L and
the
R.
special beam. Yeah, and then L and R.
Yeah.
So there's like,
Can you turn the difficulty down?
no, you can't. I checked. But
It's supersonic.
I think
okay?
I'm gonna keep fighting my way through it and probably end up completing it because apparently it's only like 3 to 5 hours long. But for me, it's probably gonna be like a 10-hour game. But it's really fun. And then aside from that, I'm still playing Elden Ring. I have not given up, making my way through. I've beaten like 4 of the 13 or 12 or something main bosses, and then a bunch of bosses like in between those. And I suck at this game. I am cheesing everything that I can to try and get through it. I am level grinding like crazy. I'm at a way higher recommended level than what they say you need to be for like certain bosses, and I'm still struggling like so bad. So that's how you know you suck at a game. But I'm still enjoying it. I'm making my way through it. I thought at first maybe this was a Brett Larson game because it tells you like a general direction to go in, but I was wrong. Just the beginning does, and then it really, really opens up, and then it leaves you to it, and you're pretty much forced to use a guide. I don't know how anyone reviewed this game and did not have a guide. Like I would be absolutely so freaking lost when it comes to just like a basic thing, like where do I get my crafting kit, which is you buy it from a store, and I actually didn't know that until like 25 hours into the game.
Good God.
But yeah, I'm still really enjoying it. I'm getting a good sense of what's the word I'm looking for, accomplishment, and yeah, I'm gonna try and keep playing through it. My goal is to beat Elden Ring before Dead Space 1 comes out, but it's gonna be pretty challenging because it's a long game. I'm like 30 hours in,
Yeah, like
and I
an
probably have
insanely
like
long game.
60 more hours to go, so we'll see. Yeah,
All right.
that's all I'm playing.
I was sure I was going to play that game, but the more I hear you talk about it, like I've got enough things in my life that make me suicidal. I don't need that from a video
Jesus.
game too. So,
Oh my gosh.
I just
My
don't
God.
need it.
That's a spirit.
But also another thing,
God.
one more thing is
That's a spirit.
I've also been messing around with some emulation and playing a bunch of games that I never got to play as a kid. So I mean, I've spent a lot of my time starting a bunch of games that I know I'm not going to finish for like Game Boy Advance, DS, all that stuff, and yeah. So that's what I've been up to the past week.
I have a feeling you having that G Cloud, we're gonna hear the most random games like
Yes,
in the entire
for
world. You're
sure.
like, this
Probably.
week I'm playing.
I mean, Dragon Ball Z
Dude, play-
Supersonic Warriors is pretty random.
Yeah,
but-
Play all
exactly.
the old import Dragon Ball Z games like Super Nintendo, and they're pretty damn good.
Dude, I'm gonna keep playing
Yeah.
a bunch of like random games that I always wanted to play, but I never could, for sure.
All right, John, what are you playing?
I played Lost Judgment.
Oh yeah.
That's right.
That's
Yeah, I
right.
heard about that.
Uh,
That's right.
and I played more Dragon Ball: The Breakers, and I think like that's
So
mostly
what's
it. But
what's next on the docket since you beat Lost Judgment then?
Yeah.
Other than
right,
Dragon
yeah.
Ball.
So I gotta catch up on like making my own game. Like Lost Judgment like
Oh, yeah.
stole so much more of the break away from work than I was anticipating. I still got some good work done, but Lost Judgment like really ate up my time because I ended up loving it so much. But the next big game I commit to will be Ghost of Tsushima, which I got for Christmas.
Oh yeah, that's
Ooh.
right. That's right. I keep forgetting you
Yeah.
got that. Yeah, you definitely need
Yeah.
to jump into that.
Yeah.
For the longest time, it was a game that I didn't actually have any interest in, but at my website, The Escapist, we have a really good writer, and we'd had several articles about the game, but like this one guy he finally wrote something that like caught my interest, and it was like, all right, I'm gonna play this game someday. And so, you know,
It's really
the time has
good.
come.
I love
I
it.
really liked
It's
it.
I,
I liked it a lot.
Mm.
I'm not one who platinums
sucks.
games. I'm not one who platinums games. And every platinum I have, other than like the easy ones you get from playing a Telltale game just by completing it, any other
Yeah.
platinum I have, like I had to like force myself to do it. But this one, I platinumed it because I was so like into it that I just didn't want the experience to end. Like I loved it that much that I just didn't want it to stop. So I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna finish it and platinum it. And yeah, I
that's
love that
cool.
game. Don't listen to Brett. He will try and tell you
Yeah.
things that are not true about that game.
I mean, I just remember
Well-
being very like not wanting to, like not excited to get back to it. And you were the same way. Don't say you weren't. I remember. But then it ended up getting its claws into you, but it never really
It
did
got
for
its
me.
hooks in me.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well,
Mm.
it helps
it's
that
good.
I watched like almost all of the Akira Kurosawa movies on HBO Max, so I'm like
cool.
prepped now,
Dope.
you know. So yeah, so that should
That's
help my
cool.
enjoyment factor.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what you think about that. I forgot
Yeah,
you
I'm
you
looking
had that
forward
on
to
your.
that.
Yeah. Although I forgot, I already said this. The very next thing I'm playing is the Lost Judgment expansion, the Kaito Files.
Oh, that's
So
right.
After
That's
that,
right. The DLC for that.
but
Put
How
it
long's that
down, John.
expansion?
Put it down.
Dude, I'd
How
like
how
to,
long's that
but
expansion?
I read it's
Do you
only
know?
like 5 to 10 hours, but I mean that's
Oh,
pretty
okay.
substantial. you
Nothing
know?
crazy.
Yeah.
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 And it's like its own whole self-contained story where you're playing as not a new character, but like a new character to play as.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So yeah. So
Cool.
yeah.
All right,
So
and
still hyped,
Brett
still hyped.
Larson, what are you playing?
Brett Larson. So the last game I played of the year, because I wasn't on the last video episode you guys were on. So since you guys have talked to me last, I finished High on Life. That was the last game I beat of 2023. And then I am now
2022.
playing 2022. Now I'm now
Confirmed time
playing-
traveler.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm playing The Witcher 3, which is this
Oh,
is a
shit.
weird one for me because I have tried playing this game. This is the third time I've tried it. The first 2 times I played like anywhere from 5 to 10 hours and it just didn't get its hooks in me. And like for whatever reason, something else would come up and I would just put it on the back burner and never go back to it. And I'm like, this time we've got a little bit of a gap between the next like really big release. And I'm like, kind of looking at games that I have available, and there was the free update for the current gen Witcher 3. So I was like, I'm just gonna start it over and try it again. Maybe this is the third time might be the charm, and I'm probably like 10 hours in, and I will say I'm a lot more invested this time than I was the previous 2 times, and I'm gonna stick with it this time. I'm not gonna like stray away. I'm gonna do it this time.
Am I crazy, or did they announce a remake for the first one?
They did.
Yeah.
They did?
Yep.
Okay.
For The Witcher
And
1.
it's
Because-
open world now.
Open world, which is
I'm one of those people who has to play games in order. So like I've tried many times to like play the first one, and I can't do it because
Come
it
on.
has
Yeah.
not
Rough,
aged
yeah.
well.
Mary,
But now
play
they're
the third
remaking
one.
it. No,
It's
look,
rough.
I
Even
stopped
It's definitely
Bayonetta
rough.
skip the
3.
first one.
I stopped Bayonetta 3 because I can't stand it that I haven't played the
Oh
first
my-
two.
Oh man.
Okay, just play Bayonetta 2 and call it a day. But with The Witcher 3, just play The Witcher 3, then play The Witcher 2,
But
and then play The Witcher 1 remake.
remaking the first one now, so I can just wait.
That's literally like 6 years from now. Like
Yeah,
what?
that's
So many other games to play in the meantime. I'm
Dude,
not-
play The Witcher 3, one of the best RPG. You're an RPG girl. Play Witcher 3, you son of a gun.
Yeah.
I skipped 1 and started with 2, and 2 was extremely fun by itself, I thought, at least to me. And that's
Okay.
At
much
least
more
play
linear,
2
faster
and then
game
3.
Okay, maybe I'll try and
Just
play
don't-
2.
Yeah.
2's really good.
Just don't play it until
Stories
one
are-
comes out and let Brett get angrier every year after year.
play 2 when 1 comes out.
How you gonna tell somebody?
My only thing with this game is I still, and like I said, I'm a lot more invested already than the previous 2 times, but I don't like the combat, and maybe am I not to the point where it like gets better? Like it's.
Did
so
you switch it to
stiff
the
and-
modern combat?
I didn't. I wanted to
don't
play it like
think it
as
gets
everyone else
better,
did.
really.
But no,
I like it better. I think the new
It's
combat's
it's not like it's ruining the game for me by any means. So I don't mean to like go over the top with it, but it's like if anything about this game I don't like, the combat is a little rough, but everything else I'm really coming around to.
All right, Greg, what are you playing?
So New Year's Eve, we played a match of Mario Party 8, which I was bummed because I have I think it's 3 on the GameCube. No, that's not right. Which one's on the GameCube? I don't know.
4.
Whichever one's on the GameCube.
What game?
4. Mario Party.
Oh, okay.
And it would get part of the way through the like start of the game and the disc wouldn't load anymore, and I'm super bummed because I've had that forever and I've been wanting to play it. And so I forgot that I had 8 on the Wii and I threw it in my Wii U, but God, does it look awful. Like it is so ugly. Like it's so pixelated, especially playing on a Wii U and then on a 4K TV. It's atrocious, but we did manage to do a whole match. And I forgot the little nuanced things, like looking at the gameplay for if it's like a 3v1 that the other person needs to see the controls too. So we had some small hiccups, but it was still kind of fun just revisiting Mario Party in that aspect. So we did that on New Year's Eve. And then still playing through River City Girls 2. It's a lot meatier in some senses. Like I do like the really like varied boss battles. It isn't just like go to this place, boss battle, go to this place, boss battle. It's like the map's kind of broken up into this weird way, which I don't like. I'd rather just have like an overview of the entire map and everywhere you're supposed to go. I don't like how you have to navigate the like bus system and like different parts of the map. But I do like that it's not like so like traditional beat 'em up boss battles. Like there's one that has like this influencer that's in this orb, and she's launching these like rows of robots that are attacking you, and you have to dodge the robots, attack the boss, and break her sphere. And so I don't know, I just think it's like really different in a lot of ways, and it's a lot more open in terms of weapon or moves that you unlock and things like that. But I've also been playing, I forgot what I've been playing this week. Oh yeah, Dragon Ball Fighters came to Game Pass, so I decided to check that out. Not enjoying it so far. I hate the layout. I hate how you can't just like get into a match or play the story. Like they give you like a little chibi character,
a little like overworld.
Why? I don't understand it. Even though the animation's absolutely gorgeous, like I hated the introduction to it so much so that I was just like, all right, I'm gonna put this down for a while. Like, and not only that, even though it's on Game Pass, I could not connect to an online match for the life of me. I let it run, sit here and try to load a match in ranked and in casual, and could not get a single match. So I said, you know what, screw this. I'll save it for another day. And then, yeah, like I said before, played a little bit of Sonic Racing on the Wii U. Still holds up as a solid and fun game. I miss that franchise. I hope they do more. Even though the last one they released was like kind of a budget version, I think it was like $29. It was still, a pretty fun game for Sonic Kart Racer, and I love that they still. I mean, that game's I think 2-3 years old, but it was still a good time. And of course, Apex Legends.
All right, guys, I forgot one game.
How dare you?
that I wanted to get in. I actually ended up buying Resident Evil 4. Wouldn't you know it? On the Wii U, the digital Wii version.
My gosh.
And I
This is
hadn't
your first time
played.
playing it too.
Yeah, no, but I hadn't played the Wii version in forever, so I was like, I remember it being like the best version because it instead of like aiming slowly with the stick, you can just be super fast and just point, click, 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 head, and it definitely took some time getting used to. I played the first 2 chapters of Resident Evil 4 on the Wii U, and first off, on the TV looks horrible, like absolutely horrible. Like I don't even understand. And it doesn't even use the whole TV. There's a black square around it that I can't even get rid of. It's like, what? I like tried looking in the settings, like, is the ratio off for the Wii games or something? But no, when I try other Wii digital games that I've bought, they're perfectly fine. But Resident Evil 4, for some reason, has this black outline. So I've literally been playing at Gavin's desk with the Wii U sitting on the little dock and just using the Wii U tablet and playing the game with the remote and nunchuck.
Oh my gosh.
Because you can point the remote at the Wii U tablet and it works like perfectly fine.
Yeah.
So I've been playing like that, like tabletop mode, and it looks way better on the Wii U screen. It basically looks like how Resident Evil 4 has always looked on that tiny screen. And the controls still are really fun and like just like super. I don't know. It's sort of. It's like the definitive version of Resident Evil, but I'll be honest, at first I was like, man, I can't believe this was normal at one point. Like, it's weird. Like, it is really weird controls, just like all around. But you sooner or later get used to it. Just like with every version of Resident Evil 4. That's like one of the big complaints I always see is I just couldn't do it with the controls. It's like, play more than an hour and I promise you will get used to the controls.
Yeah. Like my first time playing it, I played the GameCube version. And like I was streaming the GameCube version. People were like, why are you doing that to yourself? Like, it's so ugly. It's so clunky. Play a higher res version. I'm like, because I bought it like 6 years ago intending to play it. And then I got scared. And I was like, that. And like, I was like, I adjusted fine to the GameCube controls. I'm like, this
What's
is fine.
crazy about I'm honestly though surprised that you chose that version first, because the big thing about the GameCube version is that there's literally only one stick. So you're using the left stick to aim, which is not what we do nowadays. It's not what we're used to anymore. So
I don't like the sound
aiming
of that
with the left stick. So then you're walking and then aiming with one stick.
What year did I buy that? Actually, it might have been more than 6 years ago. I bought that in college.
Wow.
Because my friend was like, play it.
I was just a kindergartner around that time. I'm just kidding.
Anyway, this has been a live Nintendo podcast, aka
I was on my second wife during that time.
I did not practice my outro. But yeah, this has been Spot Dodge. Thank you everybody for sticking around with us. Make sure to follow, subscribe, 5-star review us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, any other podcast service that you use. You can find us. And yeah, we will see you all later. Bye.
Twilight Princess is underrated. Bye.
I hate you.